Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sky Blue Fans TV. A lot of unhappy supporters out there, including myself and Miles and the gang who went down, obviously full of hope, full of Christmas cheer, down to the South Coast. Came back empty-handed, unfortunately. But a lot's got to be said. Get your comments in, please. Where do we go from here? Was it the right team selection? What went wrong? It looked all so rosy in the first 15 minutes, didn't it, when we started? And then it all collapsed afterwards with a shocking performance. Right, Claudia, let's bring Claudia in. Let's get to it straight away. Good evening, mate.
How are you feeling today after your trip?
Well, it was a good night out, but the daytime could be, during the match was the bit to forget, I think.
Well, you were there, so I think give your views first, because obviously I watched it in the comfort of my home with the central heating on up to about 23. It was like the Bahamas in my house yesterday, and I watched it, and I think you should go first because you were there behind the goal. You had to witness it. I mean, what was your thoughts on the first, say, 20 minutes or 15
Our first
minutes?
20 minutes was far. I thought first 15/20 minutes was okay because I thought we got the goal, got the early goal. I thought, oh, here we go. And then really Bassett should have scored again. 2-0. I think there's no way back for them, honestly. I couldn't see them coming back from 2-0 down. But, of course, as we normally do, we don't get that second goal. We missed a few chances. They go up the other end and score. And then it was all them. It was all of a sudden the momentum was with them. And that was it. The crowd was behind them. It lifted the crowd. It was shocking. I mean, we kept giving the ball away. And I thought, well, at half-time, Whittle can't be quick enough to come. Lampard will get in there and sort them out. But lo and behold, second half, it was worse, wasn't it? The first minute, really, we conceded again. And then that was it. 3-1, I thought, no, we're not going to come back from this. And then they scored the fourth. And we still had loads of time to go, so I thought it's going to be a hammer in here. But we just seemed to lose our confidence completely. I don't know what it was, but we all say goals change games. And if Set would have scored that second goal, and I think if we went 2-0 up, I don't think they would have come back. But the longer it stayed 1-0,
we'll talk about that. Because I was watching at home, so and we scored after 2 minutes. I thought, hey, here we go. Maybe Ken's going to be right. We're going to give him a good old thrashing. And then Set goes through. I don't know why he didn't go around the keeper. He tried to score across the keeper from a ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous to do what he did. That shows immaturity. We had them on the break. They were so open. They got a midfielder playing at centre half, and it looked like it. We totally had them for those 10 minutes, and we should have been 2 or 3 up. There was some poor decisions going forwards as well. When there's the man free, could have squared it up for somebody, didn't do it. And then, of course, as you can see behind me, a goalkeeper shirt.
Yes. Well, that's just you put that up. What was?
That's from the archive. Hopefully Jim Brown doesn't see it. I'm hanging it up in the bedroom at the minute. I mean, not saying he should be lynched, but my word. Looking at there, I mean, the goal we scored was fantastic. It was a really good, quick break. And it's the sort of goal I'm expecting us to score now with the 2 lads out wide. It was a great move, really quick, fantastic move, great goal. And it was so simple, direct football. And then we should have had 2 more. But then they equalised with what was a calamity, really. Firstly, giving the corner away in the first place, panicking. As soon as the ball comes in the box, we panic. It goes out for a corner. I mean, obviously, this is the far end from where you were.
Yeah.
The corner comes over. He's got to catch it. He doesn't have to flap at it. He's got to catch it. Even the guys watching it in the studio saying he's got to catch it. It goes out wide. Milan puts in a really pitiful challenge on Bishop, and he gets the better of him, pulls it back. The shot comes in. And for some reason, as soon as he hit it, and Miles sent me a message, he thought the same. As soon as he hit it, he thought, this is going in. And it did. It's ridiculous. It's a shot on target, and the keeper dives over the ball. If I didn't think, I wouldn't say it was, but if there was somebody in the crowd who was dealing with match fixing, you'd have thought Has he done that on purpose? Because it looked hideous. It wasn't even a hard shot, Ken. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you see it? How did you see it?
From what we could see, and I thought, how did that go in? I had to look at it again. It wasn't until I seen it again on TV how poor it was. Because I thought, did it take a deflection? I couldn't quite see from where I was, and I just seen the shot coming in, just in the back of the net, and all of a sudden they've scored. I thought, how the hell did that go in? You know, and then when I looked back at it, I thought, yeah, he should be saving them. You know, it wasn't a hard shot. I say it wasn't a difficult shot, was it?
We were confident of a win, obviously, during the week, thinking we're playing a team struggling. But I did say, we don't win there very often, and Portsmouth don't lose a great deal of games at home. It is a tricky place to go, but they are struggling, regardless. They are struggling, and they're struggling more than what we are. They just got battered in the last game by a poor Derby team, who also beat us as well.
Yeah.
The worrying thing.
Yeah.
How did you see the second goal?
Another terrible goal to concede, wasn't it? It was awful. Just mistake after mistake, wasn't it? At the end of the day, it was our mistake that led to it again.
Well, Miles alludes to it all the time, saying he's too small to Silva.
Yeah. He should never. I don't understand why I would have played Bidwell. Bidwell's more solid, and for a game like that, I think Bidwell would have been more suited, to be honest.
And the ball floats over, and you think to yourself, judge the flight of the ball at least. Don't try and head it. Yeah. There's no need to head that yet. And he gets right underneath it, which you probably couldn't see down. I don't know if you've seen it back on the telly, but he got right underneath the ball. He got right underneath the ball, didn't he? And then heads it into the worst place possible. It was a fantastic lay on. I wish you could lay him on first down the other end. It was ridiculous. And then the guy hits it hard, but I'm still thinking surely the keeper can do a bit more than what he. It just feels like, is that something like 16? 18 shots?
I'd blame the keeper for 3 of them goals, really. At least 2, possibly 3. Okay, De Silva as well. Poor defending really from him.
I think we've got a problem here. I'm going to read this out before we go any further. I think you know what I'm going to read out.
This is a statement from Doug, our illustrious owner.
This is the reason why he sacked Mark Robins. If you get to Christmas with 26 points, the pressure will be triple. The players will be thinking about the summer and the season's gone. That's why I acted as I did. We currently have 24 points at Christmas. So what's he saying then?
Well,
so where's the problem? This supposed deck of cards that he's got, which is a fantastic deck. You'd have thrown your hand in by now, wouldn't you? And
there's a few jokers in there, I think.
Oh, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And people keep saying it. It's much better than when Sisu was here. But the last 7 seasons, Sisu did not get involved, apart from the off the pitch stuff, which is, I don't want to go. It's history now, moving venues and all the rest of it. But the playing side of stuff was left to Dave Boddy to deal with, and he dealt with it. And we were improving year on year. This guy came in, and I was one of them who celebrated him coming in, thinking it'd be a fresh face.
Yeah,
he came in, and the first thing he said was, and at that forum he said, the first thing Mark said was, "I'm glad you're here because they'd have sold Victor." That's what he said in that forum. Yeah. Well, 6 months later, he sold Victor. I know we got money for him, but he did sell him instead of building a team around the 2 best players we got in the squad. If he was on about promotion, I don't care how much money they gave us. The idea of the new owner coming in surely was to make us stronger. And I don't think that's happened. We've had that money. I realise Mark Robins must have been involved in some of the buys and all the rest of it. But we basically recruited, I think, some very pretty basic players. Nothing that special. I don't know what you think.
Exactly. I think there's got to be at least, I'm expecting, I don't know whether we'll get them or not, but I'd like to see we get at least 4, possibly maybe 5 new faces in January. And I think a lot of them will be loans. He's got to go to loan. He's got to go back to Doug and say, look, the loan policy has got to be activated, basically, because we need fresh faces. We can't buy anybody. We need to loan someone. and he needs. Well, I think Lampard, to be fair, he's been left with what he's got. The players, he can't do much until January. He'll have a list of players he want to bring in. I'm sure, with the knowledge he knows about football and the contacts he's got, I'm sure we'll be getting a few loan signings in, I think, to back us up, because the players we've got at the moment, I'm sorry, are clearly not good enough, are they? They can't play as a team. The confidence seems to have gone. They're just giving the ball away all the time, silly mistakes, and it's not good enough. If we've got ambitions to get out of this league, we can't keep playing like that. We've got to go and beat, with all respect upon Portsmouth, we've got to go and beat them sort of teams. They've got a poor record at home. Most teams are going there and winning. Okay, they've got a couple of decent results, but on paper should have a better squad than them, really. And we should be beating them sort of teams, and we're not. We take the lead in games. We don't get that second goal, or we miss a hatful of chances, and then we just collapse when the other team scores, and that's what happened. And I think the fans let down as well on Saturday. We had great support there, and the players let themselves down and let the fans down.
Well, the most annoying thing I ever see on social media is when people say, "Get behind the team," that's just support the team. I think, well, we're selling out away ends. We've got sell out Boxing Day. The one thing we are doing is getting behind the team. We're turning up. Years gone by, you all stay behind. I didn't see many walking out at the end of the game.
No, there was more Portsmouth fans going, I think, to beat the rush than us, because we were all singing to them, "We can see you sneaking out."
I mean, I've been at games where years ago where half the end is emptied when we've been losing 3-0 with 10 minutes to go. Everyone's gone off. It's been shambolic. I mean, without being too smug, these were these are posts that I was posting way back, and I started it in August, and I think the first one was, bear with me while I find it. I'll get to it in a second. So this was on the 3rd of August.
Yeah.
If you think having the same defence as last season is going to improve our chance of promotion, think again. Definitely lacking leadership. We need an old-fashioned general to steer us to promotion. Any thoughts? I got pelters for that, saying, "Oh, you're not a proper fan," that sort of thing. I think, well, at the minute, it's looking that I'm right.
It is, to be honest.
26th of October. While we keep shipping in goals, we have no hope. 1.5 goals on average over the last 32 matches. We have to score 2 in virtually every match to have any chance of a positive result. Defensively, as a team, we are poor. No one seems to spot a runner or stays with a player. But, big but, it would help if those up front could actually score from 6 yards out. At the moment, we are only heading one way if this doesn't change soon. I got a lot of stick for that as well.
Yeah.
There's 2 more yet. Threadbare squad. Shocking recruitment. A team that can't stop conceding. Great finishes by them. This was been about, I can't remember which team we were playing against. But both preventable. We need a magician in charge. And then finally, December the 1st, that was all on the players yesterday, like it has been for the start of the season. The house of cards is tumbling. As a team, we are terrible at defending our goal mouth. Frank's come in, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Yeah. The only thing that's changed is our midfielders getting into the box. The other end is still the same, and it's still the same players. Shall I read some comments?
Yeah, there's a load of comments. I was about to say there's loads of comments, and I must admit, I agree with most of them. I can see on the screen.
Blimey, there's a lot, isn't there? Right, okay. I'll read them out, and here we go. So, Alan Eden, why can the whole of us Coventry fans as a base can collectively see what we just simply not even do in the basics? Yesterday was like watching Sunday League game at Horsley Park. Paul Cutter, the sleep walk continues. The only thing I haven't heard yet is the old chestnut, we're too good to go down. Well, we're not good enough to stay up with these players and this owner. Assassins Unite, awful performance yesterday. I feel like Frank Robbins signed these terrible players, and it's down to De Silva, Van Ewijk, Collins. Should never play for the club again. I hope they sell Van Ewijk and Sheaf. Trevor Merriman. Lovely morning looking around the Portsmouth Harbour, and then what's that? One of the worst away games I've been to. Wayne Littlewood, what a load of tosh. Great 10-15 minutes, followed by rolling over and having our bellies tickled as we had no backbone. This team is poor. We are simply a very average deck. GLB boxing, same rubbish, different week. DK has released more shirts than wins this season. CTK Rats, I felt for Collins as his confidence looked shocked. I would have bid well all day long over De Silva. Too many to go out to solve this all in January.
Yeah,
I mean, none of this is on Frank. Believe I'm not blaming Frank Lampard
no,
at all.
But I was definitely surprised that Bidwell never played yesterday. I was very surprised at that because I think Pompey are a big, strong side, and they lump the ball forward sometimes, and when you get the ball lumped forward, it's not good for a small player, is it?
But if we'd have done what we'd done in the first 15 minutes and took the chances, the game would have been over. Ken.
Yeah, well, yeah, goals change games, don't they?
It would have worked, wouldn't it? The plan would have worked, whatever the plan was.
Yeah.
Gibbo, good evening. Thanks for having me on the show from Portsmouth Friday. Really enjoyed it. Saturday, however.
Yeah. I'll just say it was a great show Friday night, and thanks for everybody who came along. There was a lot more behind the scenes that you didn't see on camera that came in a bit later. There was probably about 22 COF fans there that came to watch the show. So thanks very much for everybody who turned up and those who took part, including Gibbo.
I really enjoyed it. Saturday, however, was much less enjoyable, disgraceful performance. Yeah. Offer of Mercia. The Pompey thrashing felt humiliating. We couldn't have done any worse if Michael Bublé had played at right back. Like a defensive, nervous breakdown live on TV, Sky TV. Need to win next two guys. As to Gibson says, we all follow the Sky Blues. Yes, we do. Wayne Littlewood, Lampard didn't act fast enough yesterday. Subs were too late, but to be fair, they didn't do much at all.
No.
Stan Butler, even all players we have in defence are not good enough. Collins is a joke. Doug Bolam, even all, firstly, I'd just like to congratulate Ken and myself for being the only two people who predicted a correct 4-1 scoreline.
I did say 4-1, but I certainly didn't mean it that way. But there you go. I did the wrong way around.
Mark French, after Saturday's collapse, I'd start Eccles at right back, Bidders at left back, and Collins has to be taken out. Wilson, if he's in fit for Boxing Day. Worry, lack of fight and desire. Assassins unite. Eccles has to go back to old position of right back. Kitchen for Binks, Bidwell for De Silva, and pray Wilson is available because Collins is unselectable and Dovan is possibly worse. Wayne Littlewood, Bassett not scoring the second was a huge big turning point, but even though he missed it, the way we crumbled it was pathetic. Defence and keeper are a real worry. The thing is, forwards will miss chances. I mean, the best forwards in the world will miss a chance.
Exactly, and you just hope you're going to get another chance like quickly after that to put it right. But there's no excuse for the defence the way they crumbled like that. It was awful.
We'll get on to the second half in a minute. Gibbo, I said Friday, hopefully we don't cov it up. That was the most cov it up performance for many a year. The individual errors made were atrocious. I can remember some bad ones. 2-0 up against Chelsea, lost 6-2 years ago. That's another classic.
Yeah.
Stan Butler.
There's been a few over the years.
Else you will be punished. Collins and Dovin can't catch a ball, says Assassin Unite. And this is from Wayne Littlewood. Horrendous from Collins for the first goal. It really is a worry how we've gone through three keepers and we still don't know who is the worst out of them. We said this though, when Wilson kept this clean sheets, he had three defenders in front of him who didn't move, who virtually dealt with everything as much as they could. They weren't afraid to get their heads in. They weren't afraid to get stuck in. We haven't got that. We haven't got that at the minute. I think we've been very short-sighted as a club in terms of our recruitment. You're not going to turn these players into gems all the time, are you? It's not possible. It's just not possible. Gibbo, fair play to Ken. He got his score prediction correct, just the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Third goal from the corner. If Collins comes, he has to get the ball. He just came and stood there. We'll get to that, Stan. MR is partly to blame for the mess, but it's a combined effort. Well, that's Dan. That's what I said. He obviously had a role in the recruitment, but it's just, it starts at the people who are meant to be finding these players. I don't understand how it's gone so bad. Finn, we need desperately to offload all 3 keepers and get one top-class keeper, and we need a new defence. They were all shocking. We used to be solid when we had McNally, Fads and Doyle. I mean, Miles, fair play, Miles. You kept mentioning the keeper, didn't you? What we needed a decent keeper. So Dan says, for 24 points, he's quadrupled the problems. Oh.
Yes.
Trevor
now, I wonder whether Doug is going to come out and say something about that, because he knows what he said.
Ken, he's only come out once this season. That was when he sacked Robbins. We haven't seen him all season. Trevor Merriman, I should have known what was coming with De Silva and Collins from the start and didn't even bring bidders on later. Looking back, says Gibbo, at the first goal conceded, I think it was harder for Collins to do what he did rather than save it. Yes. You could see the players when he let it in, sort of say, I won't say what they probably said, but you think,
I think it drained the confidence out of them, didn't it?
Oh, it's a joke. It's a joke. Chris Brook, evening, Chris. Collins was poor, probably worst goalkeeping performance I've seen for Cov since Jonathan Gould. De Silva was not good enough as a left back, and Sakamoto was out of the game until the 91st minute.
Well, I was going to bring up about Sakamoto. He's right. People were saying, is he playing? Because he wasn't even involved in the thing.
He doesn't have many good away games. I've noticed that. So I've seen that somewhere else. Somebody has quoted that already about how he seems to go missing when we play away from home. Is that because we're not playing, on the front foot? Maybe he doesn't get involved. I don't know. He says we didn't compete for the first, second, or third ball. We have no leaders on the team. I don't blame Lampard as he needs to bring players in, but let's get business done early. Oh God, he said that last time, then it stopped, didn't it? Wayne says, the deck contains too many jokers. The hard work from the last few seasons seems to have disappeared. We've gone backwards since, sadly, DK's arrival. The boy says, Collins, Binks, Thomas De Silva is a relegation battle. By the way, if you're wondering where Miles is, it's his wedding anniversary, 23 years. And,
congratulations, Miles. I'm sure you're enjoying it.
Yes, and well done, Cheza, for 23 years.
Yeah.
She gets a massive medal.
He wasn't very happy yesterday, I tell you.
But he wasn't. He got back and did that disco. I don't know how he did.
He did get that, yeah.
Stan Butler, recruitment so poor, League One defence, no leader out there. Dean Austin, surely he needs to go. Trevor Merriman. Glenn Watkin. Honestly, I've got to say, Glenn normally is very positive. I've noticed that. He's always backed the team, even when we have not had good performances or we've had a loss. Honestly, the second half performance was the worst I've seen in a long time. Utter spineless, outfought by an average Pompey side who just wanted it more than us. Absolutely. You don't normally hear stuff like that from Glenn.
100% agree with you, Glenn. 100%.
I had to drink 2 or 3 pints at the German market because of that game last night. Yesterday afternoon, I mean. Yeah. I've got my Charles Dickens references already. I was going to say, they've fallen on hard times. We've left the bleak house, and we've left with the victory. Well, we left them all there, didn't we? Well, we left the victory. It's still in the harbour. You can't blame Doug for selling Hamer and Yocker as their contracts were running down, and both wanted to leave. Hamer wasn't offered the money he wanted, and believe me, money talks. Money talks. If they don't perform, says Chris, drop them from the squad. Use the kids.
The trouble is, we haven't got enough decent kids to coming through, have we? Really?
But I said nothing on Thursday about playing certain players. What's the worst could happen? We could lose. Well, we're losing with the players we expect to see winning. And this is what the worry is, because there's not much else you can change at the minute.
No,
is there, Ken? What can we really change?
Well, we can't. I expect a few changes on. Well, we'll talk about it in a bit. But I expect a few changes for the Plymouth game. I really do.
Yeah. Assassin's Unite. It's not King's fault we were doing worse under Robbins, and King backed him. 4.5 million for Kitchen, 8 million for Sims down the drain. Well, trust me, we're never going to be paying 8 million for Sims because he's not going to get. There's no way that all the pay on the clauses, they're not going to be met. As for Kitchen, I don't understand that. Deadline day, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a weird one. And the fact he's not even. So you've got 4.5 million sat on the bench. And with Sims as well. That's a lot of money to be sat out the team. They were brought to play. Tom Baker, I wouldn't put too much faith in fresh faces. A lot of the problem is, I think, lack of confidence. GLB Boxing, who'd want to come here? Anyone of any quality would look at this deck of bottle jobs and think, sod that. We got turned over by a League One promoted team, says it all, where we currently are. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, and it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing because even the Pompey fans we were speaking to were shocked at the way of our defending. He says, when we were 1-0 down, he thought this guy said he thought we were going to get hammered again. We thought it's going to go 2-3-0 here, and he said I couldn't believe, the goals that he gave us. A few of the goals, the defending. He admitted it.
Well, the commentary, it was all about us the first 15 minutes until they scored, and Day Sports Photos, I hope we stop talking about inconsistency, and we know they can do it. One of Ken's sayings, when we have done it, have we done it really? 10-man Middlesbrough, a couple of dodgy home wins, that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's frustrating because on paper, if you look, I know teams are not played on paper, are they? But if you put them teams on paper, man to man, we're better than them. We should be. We know they have done it in the past, haven't they? But the problem is, again, it's inconsistency, isn't it? They don't do it on a consistent level. They'll play well for one game and then go missing for the next 2 or 3 games and come back again.
The problem is, a lot of the enthusiasm comes from the fact we had that cup run last season. 3 of the fixtures were simple fixtures, really. They're games we should be winning at the time. Oxford,
we had the look of the draw, didn't we?
Oxford, Maidstone, Sheffield Wednesday, even though they were near the bottom when we played them. And then we got Wolves. For some reason, we clicked that day. And then obviously United, where we still remember we were 3-0 down. We looked like we were going out and we clawed it back, and controversially we lost. But there wasn't too many games. We had Leeds and Leicester and maybe a couple of others last season. We think, this is quite decent. And we can't keep harping back onto what we did in those 2 cup matches. The cup is weird. It is weird. It brings up all sorts of strange results.
Yeah, the cup's just a one-off game, isn't it? And if you get through, you get through. You just need a little bit of luck. And we had a bit of luck with the draw, and we got through, and we just ran out of luck in the end, I suppose, when we played Man United. But
our was at the end of the season was terrible. Our home form was shocking. Even though we lost that semi-final, they should have been buoyant. They should be, wanted to.
We were still in a position, weren't we? Then,
yes,
to get into the playoffs.
Exactly. I think it worked out. If we'd won, 6 out of 9 matches left, wherever, with chance we would have been in the playoffs. And they're all games that, there was 6 matches in there on paper, as we keep saying on paper, we could have won, but we didn't. We completely flaked.
Yeah.
Paul Stratton says, no passion, no fight, no heart, no aggression. We are being taken for mugs. We need a goalkeeper, complete back 4. If we go to sort this otherwise, we get relegated. Disgrace to the shirt, pathetic. It's a sellout Boxing Day. We need a win, says Assassin Unite.
Yes, we do.
Mark Cunningham, absolutely gutless. The fans should be given their money back and expenses incurred.
Absolutely, I agree.
Why are we so weak at incoming crosses? Why is our keepers not coming out and collecting the ball before they nut it into our goal, for God's sake?
I'd love to know.
Trevor says, what's the atmosphere going to be like Boxing Day? Who knows? Gary Collins, happy Christmas to you both. Lampard out, lol. Well and truly versus Pompey, gutted. Matthew Stone, we simply lack experience. Someone to rally those around them, provides lots of information to his teammates on the pitch. Don't write us off. Some of these young lads just yet. They need some help. This is from Wayne Little. Claudia, the ones who threw pelters are just simpletons who will never see a bad word said against the club, no matter how the performance. Very sad, really. Saturday night, we're all fans and are entitled to our opinions, but we have to back the team. What's the point of going? Well, that's what we do. As I said, we do. I don't hear us going there and booing. That's what we just.
Well, we backed the team. The 3,000 went down to Portsmouth on for a 12:30 kickoff. A couple of days before Christmas. So, That's commitment. So we're back in the team, but the team unfortunately didn't, back us in the end of the day. They didn't perform. Nowhere near good enough.
And we're selling out away games on the back of poor results.
Yeah.
In previous weeks, it's not. They go on sale. They've gone. They're hardly getting down to general sale. Yeah. Ian Harris. Some of the players need to have a serious word with themselves. Poor defending. No creativity in midfield. Second half can't finish. Bidwell's contract is up in the summer. Is that playing the part? Why he's not playing? We're going to try and sell him in Jan. Bring someone in with De Silva as backup. Neither Wilson or Bidwell have been offered new contracts. I can tell you that.
Right, okay.
Robbins was sacked for
that probably
that.
Meaning what we're in at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm so surprised. We have the same group of players making the same mistakes, not just this season. But am I more fool me? Mark, that's what I said. It's the same players making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Collins cannot play for the club again. For me, constant mistakes, by far the worst keeper we have. Liam was a bit late today, but only because I'm still trying to pretend yesterday didn't happen. Collins has got to go. Can't believe how awful we are. Big January ahead, Doug, but I don't think you have the money.
Well, that'll be the test for him, wouldn't it? If he has the money, is he going to buy anybody? Or is he just, I've got a funny feeling he's not. I think he's going to cave in and allow a few loans to come in.
Yeah. Lee Beckett, people need to get off MVE's back, but De Silva is having a shocker this season. The problem with Milan is I don't think he's missed a minute of the season. I think
he's got no competition for his place, has he?
It's absolutely ridiculous that they moan about too many games and the club are putting a player through the ringer at the minute. If one person needs to not start a game, it's probably Milan just for a break. But unfortunately, there is nobody else who can step in that role at the minute. Alex Craig, hi both. Just a thought regarding the captaincy. Sheaf is not a captain. Surely he's only captain because Doug never wanted him to go. Bidwell should be captain, and it's a disgrace that he never played. Yeah, see, a lot of people have said about Ben. Does he weigh? Does he carry the captain's
weight
back
on his shoulders? Do you think?
Yeah. Do you think?
Possibility. But who else in that squad of players would you consider to be a captain?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the problem you got, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
if Bidwell was playing, maybe Bidwell. I don't know. He's the oldest, experienced player.
I mean, Mark Robbins kept passing it around, didn't he? At one stage.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only give it. Well, Bobby Thomas at a push just because he's at the back.
Thomas maybe at the back because you see he does shout about a bit, doesn't he? He tries to organise things, but there's not many, is there, that he could give the captaincy to, really, that captain material, if you like.
This is from Matthew Stone. Does this prove furthermore that Robbins' sack was harsh? It's the same group of lads that need experience around them. Could easily argue Robbins takes the same points as Frank since he comes in.
Yeah. Well, you can't argue with it. It's a fact, isn't it? End of the day, it's been poor. It's been poor, and it's the same players, really.
Glenn, the players are the problem. Down tools by Wembley semi in the run in after Wolves win. Can't buy a win or a clean sheet. Needs drastic changes immediately in terms of players and also change captain.
Yeah, but we were just saying who to, unless he brings in an old head with a bit of experience that he'll give the captaincy to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alan Thomas, why does Sims continue to get game time up front instead of Thomas Asante, who ain't had a chance except out of position? Yes. Adam Toms, it starts the keeper and the defence. That should be the priority. Ensure they're solid, and Sheaf, EMC, Tats, etc. will have more freedom to do their stuff. Alex, this is a good point, Alex. Also, Frank not coming over to the 2,000 fans who stayed until the end at Portsmouth. Fans who didn't want to be there come the 90th minute. A joke. What did you make of that, Ken?
Yeah, I did notice that, and I don't know what the reason was. I did notice he sort of went down the tunnel. The players came over, but he didn't. So, and people were saying, well, it's okay to come over when we're winning. You've got to come over when we lose as well.
Because I saw that.
Really, yeah.
I saw that on the telly, and I was trying to just have a look to see if he didn't do the little clap over his head as he walked down, but he didn't. He just went straight down.
Maybe he was so angry and he he wanted to get to the changing rooms. But yeah, I mean, people were saying to me, they did notice it. He never came over, but Robbins used to. Well, even Robbins never come over. He used to clap before he went down the tunnel, didn't he? And he used to make a beeline for the away fans or tell the players to. But I noticed yesterday Frank went straight down the tunnel, and he's obviously angry after the performance. But people were saying you've got to acknowledge the fans, even if we win or lose. Doesn't matter. He was quick enough to come over when we won and take all the plaudits. So he's got to be man enough to come over when we lose, isn't he?
Now, this seems like a strange thing to say. Maybe these kind of results, in some ways, might work in our favour in terms of Frank Lampard can see that we need things to change. Because if we'd have had just like this manager bounce where we just win, it comes to January window, you can guarantee our owner will probably think, oh, we're fine, aren't we?
Yeah.
You can actually see what we've all been seeing all season, that there needs to be things changing because it's not right. And had we got positive results every game, I think he could have easily gone, well, do we need anybody? Really? But at least you can see now we're in a mess. We need some players.
Yeah, and we've got to remember he's stuck with the players that he's been stuck with, and that's it. He hasn't brought any of them players in. So we probably we've got to judge him really coming end of January, when he's managed to bring hopefully a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 fresh faces in and see who he brings in. Because the players that are there now are the ones that he's stuck with. He can't, apart from the odd changes here and there, he can't really, do a lot, can he, at the moment? He's stuck with what he's got.
And years ago, the new manager would turn up and bring, I remember Atkinson when he arrived, he signed Richardson, didn't he? Solanco, Liam Daish. I think Liam Daish was one of them. I know, less said about him, the better. But he came in and brought players with him, didn't he? Straight away, we're looking to sign players.
Did, yeah.
You can't do that now. Which is weird to sack the manager when he did, because it's given him too long a period. I mean, because obviously he sacked him because he thought we weren't going to get to 26 points. That's why he thought, I'll get rid of him now. We'll get 26 points easy with the fixtures we've got. Well, what a miscalculation that was. And I worked out that I've been to, and you must be close to this, I've been to almost since 1970-71 season, I'm touching close to 1,800 matches. One that I've seen us playing.
Yeah.
He said, you can't be far behind because you obviously do more away games than I do now.
Yeah, I won't be far. Yeah, easier probably. Yeah.
Now, I'm telling you now, I don't care what people think. I'm not blowing my own trumpet. And me, along with you and a few others who probably watch this, who've seen us play thousands or hundreds of times, would have more knowledge about what a football team requires than the owner of this football club. And yet,
I 100% agree with that.
And he said at that forum, if you think I'm not getting involved he said it in the forum with the supporters. If you think I'm not getting involved, I didn't let this bit out before. If you don't think I'm getting involved when he's like got the money, then you're a basket case, basically, is what he's saying. I've got the money. I'm getting involved in the recruitment, whatever.
When you're using my money, I want to say, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this is where the problem lies. With what we're signing and who we're signing and who we're going for and decisions in the background.
Well, that's where I'd like to think Frank would stand up and say, hold on a minute, I'm running the team here. I'll bring in the players I want to bring in, not you, with all due respect. Me, because I know about football, a lot more about football than you do. And that's what he should be saying to Doug.
Exactly. Coventry says, really enjoyed Friday night. And he got the book as well, didn't he, Ken?
He did win the book. Yeah, he was delighted with it when he seen it. Yeah, he turned up. Yeah, it was good, and he managed to get a ticket for the game as well.
I bet he's delighted with that.
I'm not sure if that's prefer the book, I think.
Gary Collins says, if Bissett would have put the second goal in, different story. We was awful. Sad, need to sort it out. Can't defend at all. I feel every time a corner comes in, they will score against us. Need players. Happy Christmas, guys. PUSB. Happy Christmas, Gary. Yeah, you're right. We know. We don't stop crosses. We haven't stopped crosses for 18 months. Guys, why don't we put Sims in goal, says Nathan Sullivan. Why do we give Thomas Asante a 4-year contract? That's from Dan. It's to do with financial fair play. It's the same reason why Chelsea gave players 7-8-year contracts, because they can spread the payments over so many years. It doesn't really mean they want him for 4 years. And that's how they do deals now. The longer the contract, they can spread out your monetary FFPs, wherever it's called. Doug Bowden, I still believe we get Wilson back in goal. He'll be able to steady the ship somewhat.
I don't know how long away he is. I mean, I'm not sure if he'll be ready for Boxing Day, but I know he's only a couple of weeks away. Might be maybe the next game, possibly.
Graham Cockrell, I'm sorry to say their first goal should have been saved. Collins needs to understand a ball crossed in his goal. Ball across. Oh, sorry, I've lost that one.
Understand the ball crossed to his ball, it says. Yeah.
Thomas was terrible yesterday. Frankie had seen enough and took him off. If Wilson isn't fit, put one of the kids in goal, says Assassin's Unite. I hate to say it, says Taron SD, but Collins is not a keeper, pun intended. And Wayne says, I don't think we'll spend anything in Jan. Too far from the playoffs now. Loans only if FL is allowed. Spend money in the summer. Ian Small says, wasted millions on poor players, a shocking 18 months in our history. The reason we got relegated from the Premier League, we're going back a fair bit, according to Gordon Strachan, was recruitment the 18 months previously wasn't good enough, and he admitted that himself.
Yeah.
They didn't sign the right players, and it's happened to other clubs. So, batten the hatches, tying up your belts. It could be a rough ride. Alistair Gibson, it would help if our defenders were all a tad taller than we have at the minute. The Silva looks so small out there on the. Yeah,
it does. And
still been in charge here. We would have beaten Portsmouth. I don't know, dark farts. I mean, we lost to some poor teams with Mark in charge as well. Matt Sankey, we can't judge Lampard until he signs his own players. Staying in division is our only aim. He's going to need 2, possibly 3 transfer windows, I think, because we haven't got the money to just go and buy, have we?
Not unless he does some sort of willing and dealing, people going out before they come in. Possibly, I don't know.
Ian Plimlott, I have to agree to what you said about the defence, Claudio, way back when you said it. But yesterday was a new low. Can we re-sign Oggy? He could keep goal better. This is not Frank's mess, though.
Yeah. Well, we keep saying that, Frank's got the team that he's got and he's stuck with it until he can do something about it. So he can only select the team or the squad that he's got. We are missing Hadji, though. I mean, I must admit, we are missing Hadji. But that's only one player, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a classic thing, isn't it, where someone looks, when they're not in the team, that makes them a better player, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's one of those, isn't it? And no doubt when he starts playing, people will be moaning about him.
There will be.
What does Tovin need to do to get picked? I don't remember him doing anything that wrong.
I don't think he did, really. He just it was in between him and Wilson, wasn't it, at the end of the day? And then he went for Wilson. He brought Wilson back, didn't he? And then and then obviously he's gone for Collins rather than David. I think David came back for a couple of games. I don't think he did much wrong, did he? To be honest, he's right. He didn't do much wrong.
If Collins comes out on Boxing Day in goal, I can't believe it. I'll be shocked. You have to then start questioning Frank Lampard straight away, because that's not a performance that warrants to start the next game.
No.
Mark Cunningham in defence of Sakamoto, he was hardly given the ball. Miles would prefer to be here. I don't know about that. Wayne says, heard Miles has taken his missus to a slap-up meal at the KFC.
It might be a little bit better than that, I think.
But no dips. That's extra, as I found out recently. Aaron Thomas, Tats never beats a fullback, just cuts in, and a backwards pass. The midfield instincts are to play backwards and sideways rather than forwards attacking pass. Assassins Unite, please, can we get a new goalkeeping coach? I heard Oggy being asked about that. I like Oggy, but sometimes he's very defensive towards the player. I mean, he's looking at it as a player sometimes, obviously, and he was very defensive, I thought. Yeah. Mad Frankie, under 21s are, to be fair, nobody coming through whatsoever. Well, we've said this.
Yeah.
They're both, I think, bottom of the both academy teams are bottom, I think. No one's come through, really.
No, the last one to come through was obviously Eccles, wasn't it?
Yeah. Still no sporting director. That's been dragging on for weeks now. Well, in that supporters forum, basically, Doug said one thing at a time. They can't afford to do everything in one go. So yeah.
Not priorities, Doug.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Packham, evening all. I say bring Mark Robbins back. Lampard had a week of training his players. They knew Lang was their danger man on Saturday. Why didn't anyone mark him hard enough?
Yeah, I mean, we said it. Who's the last person to score 4 goals past us? Because somebody asked that question, didn't they?
Luke.
Luke Berry.
Berry, Cambridge 2016 in the Cup. Yeah. I think Floyd Hasselbank.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank for Middlesbrough, yeah.
For Chelsea, I think, 2000.
Chelsea, yeah.
2000, that was.
Yeah.
Ken Otomo should give Bell under 23 in goal a go. He's cracking young goalkeeper. What have we got to lose by doing so?
Well, yeah, we haven't got anything to lose, really.
Will Frank go to back 5 Boxing Day? We wouldn't normally. It doesn't play that way. Whole back 5 could change for Plymouth. The problem is I had a couple of messages, one from an Everton fan and one from a Chelsea fan, and they both said, good luck with the defence, because he just likes to go forward and it doesn't really do a lot with the defence. I'm thinking, up. We've seen that already, haven't we? Which is a worry.
We have, yes.
Yeah. Assassin United, Robbins never gave the youth a chance. Only Eccles has played regularly in the Championship as a player from the youth team.
Mm-hmm.
They were singing "Can We Play You" every week. It's bad enough, isn't it?
Yeah, it was embarrassing. And they even started singing, "We've won the ball, we've won the ball." And then we go, "We've lost the ball, we've lost the ball." That's what we were singing. How embarrassing is that?
Chris Brook, the youth game is different, and some top youths don't transition into the men's game. Eccles wasn't the star that came through, but has stepped up. Like Claudius says, what's the worst that can happen? Might it put the seniors in their place? Might put their seniors in their place that they're guaranteed a start.
Yeah, I mean, there's Tavares as well. He hasn't had a run out, has he? Really? As well.
Yeah, this is weird. Now, Dan, we said this the other week, didn't we? It shows up at the championship is that there's 7 teams below us, which just exactly that. We haven't had a good season at all, yet there's teams below us, which is just amazing, really. I'm glad they're so bad. Alan Thomas, how many more times are we going to say confidence? The players recently said Frank has brought fresh confidence and energy to the group. So where is it if it's the confidence thing? Mark Rainbow, have we been inconsistent? We seem inconsistently make the same mistakes, usually in away games.
Mm-hmm.
Janet says, Bissett needs to learn how to stop on his feet. He needs to stop diving and learn the offside rule. Yeah, well, that's what they said on the telly, didn't they? They weren't very impressed with how he kept falling down. We have 24 points at Xmas. So if we double that for the rest of the season, that's 48, 50 points. Just remember, Birmingham went down with 51. Wayne said, we've been poor for a long time. It's not a case of bad run anymore. We've invested so poorly, and this season is a washout. The only people showing commitment, says Trevor, is Trevor Merriman. Yes, he was the supporters. And Stan Butler, you can count on the teams on a bad run to get a win here. Got to be careful with the Plymouth game. We'll chat about that in a second, actually.
Yeah.
Glenn said, the most damning thing is, aside from the right injury, we had everyone else fit. Pompey had 8 players missing, midfielder at centre-half, yes, and a very inexperienced back 4, but still outplayed us. Despite all the negativity, I'm confident Lampard gets us near the top 6 this next season. That's in the Championship, not League One. Day Sports Photos. Claudia said all season that defence is the issue. In the playoff season, Bissett's goal would have been enough, and we'd be talking about a great 1-0 win. A couple more, and we'll talk about the Plymouth game.
Yeah.
Try and be positive for the next 20 minutes. We can. It is the season of goodwill, and we were giving presents away like business. Matt Wall, I don't think it's an issue of mentality or lack of effort. The players we brought in to replace Yokeres, Haymo, O'Hare, Kelly, McFadds are nowhere near their level. We simply need better players. And Stevenson says, yes, he was valuable. Reason to find out who rolls their sleeves up when a performance is like that. Half the team will be gone in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Before we go on to Plymouth then, Ken, the second half, let's get it out of the way, shall we? So I couldn't believe it. The ball comes up.
Put it this way, a lot of people went to the refreshment bar, and then when that second goal went in, that first goal in the second half, the third goal, they never came back down. They stayed up there.
But you're near the front, aren't you? You're fairly near the front. So the ball comes out. What is Collins doing? What is he doing? It just seems like
I don't know what he's doing there.
To run out, sort of through his. I don't know what he did. And what makes it worse, there's no defenders jumping either. I don't know how you saw it.
There's no chance. Never in a million years was he going to get that ball. Why did he attempt to get it? If he stayed where he was, he probably would have saved it.
But it was weak, wasn't it? It was weak.
It was a weak header, yeah. He would have been on the line. He would have just been to his hands.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
Never in a million years.
None of our players challenged for it. If you'd have been in the box and hit you on the head, it'd have gone in. You know what I mean? There's no challenge whatsoever. And after that,
I don't know why he thought he could possibly get it, or even a punch on it. It was nowhere near, even a touch of anything like that. So what on earth he was thinking about trying to attempt to get that ball from there? I never know.
And then the fourth goal, yet again we give the ball away. The amount of passes, a total panic at the back. We weren't finding anybody. The passes were terrible. And I mean, I know what it's like when you're behind the goal. You can't see down the other end. When you can, there looks like an easy 5-10 yard pass. We couldn't even do that. It was shocking, really. So they turned the ball over yet again. The ball comes in the box. They get to it first. Fair play to Collins. He made a good save. It comes down. And then what does he do? He just pats it straight into the middle of the 6 yard box.
Well, there's two things there. One, where was our defenders? They should have been there to clear it. And then second, it was just poor clearance, wasn't it, from him? He just sort of hooked it away, didn't he? And it didn't go, he should have put it to one side, but it was straight in down a 6 yard box. And the guy just come and said, thanks very much. That's my fourth goal. Nice one.
And the problem is he makes changes, whether it's too late or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think the game had gone. But the lads who've gone don't make a difference either.
Not really.
They don't come on and you think, they look like they could start the next game. It just, the whole thing just sort of,
Yeah, I think that, the confidence had gone by then. I think there's no way we're going to get back. When that fourth goal went, there's no way we were. Maybe 2-1, you got a chance. You're still in the game at 2-1. 3-1, if you get one back, 3-2, you never know. But fourth one, you could see the confidence completely go. And then it was just a matter of seeing time out, trying not to concede anymore. But they didn't make any difference whatsoever, the subs, to be honest. No, not one jot of difference. We lost that game because we didn't do enough. They worked harder than us. They wanted it more than us at the end of the day. And that's what won it. As we keep saying, we all keep saying, they look easy games on paper, don't they? But there's no easy games in this league, and if you're not at it on any given day, you'll get turned over. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not stupid. We don't expect to win every game, but there are times when you just want a performance, and we didn't get one apart from 10 minutes. And you're not going to win matches with 10 minutes of football.
No.
We were doing well and we could get 45 minutes out of them, because we were saying we can't get a whole 90 minutes. I can't remember the last time we've had a whole 90 minutes out of them.
I don't know how long you've got to go back for that. Yeah.
Very few matches. Maybe Blackburn at home.
Possibly. The Everton pre-season game, maybe. We had a good game there. That didn't matter, did it? But
no, exactly. I don't understand how you haven't got it in you as a player to get more out of yourself.
No.
But it's just too many mistakes all over the pitch.
And surely them players now should be embarrassed, really, with that performance. They must be looking and think, God, we can do better than that. And they should know they can do better than that. Yet they've gone out there and they've just not performed, nowhere near the capabilities that they can, and they should know that.
There was a lot of fans getting excited because we beat Hull City, and I saw lots of people on social saying, you need to calm down a bit. We beat Hull City, been terrible. They hadn't won a game for 10 matches or something when we played them. I think they won yesterday, the first time in 13 games. We struggled to beat them in the end. Although we did beat them, and we probably should have scored more goals as normal, but we struggled to beat them.
Yeah.
So I think, and too many people got overexcited at that win. Mainly, probably because we won. It's, and we needed a win. Paul Stratton.
The trouble is the bar has been set so high over the last, because we've had success, haven't we, over the last couple of seasons. The bar's really high. That bar needs to come down a bit now, doesn't it?
Which is what Mark Robbins alluded to at the start of the season when he said the expectations need to be brought down a bit.
Definitely.
And I don't think Doug King liked that, because he's trying to sell a product, aim high, whatever it is.
Well, if he's going to do that, with all due respect, he can't sell his better players, if you like, and replace them with players that are nowhere near as good enough as the ones we had.
Well, you can't promote something saying you're going to promote something that's fantastic, and then you take like it's a motor racing car and take the back wheels off.
Yeah, exactly.
See how far you can get now, and the whole coach. We could go on about it.
Recruitment's been poor. Simple as that, hasn't it? And they've got to look at the recruitment situation and say, well, have you done a good job this year? No, you haven't, because results.
Get rid of all the experienced mechanics and bring in some apprentices to sort them out. It's not going to work, is it? It's just not going to work.
Right.
Paul Stratton, Stoke buy international goalkeeper for $1 million. We pay over this amount for a goalkeeper who can't catch a cold. If we play all three keepers at once, we wouldn't catch a cross. Very disturbing. Well, we all said about Johansson. A lot of the Cov fans thought that'd be ideal, and he's gone to Stoke. It's weird. I honestly think that he thought you can just buy players of a certain age, and then we're going to sell them on for double, and that's all he was looking at. Because Bobby Thomas only about 23.
He's only young, yeah.
Yeah, they're all quite still young, aren't they? Gibbo, regarding goalkeepers, play Dovan until the end of the season, release Wilson, and sell loan Collins if anyone wants him. If Dovan's not good enough, bring in a new goalkeeper in the summer.
No.
Gary Collins. It's sad as you say, Claudio. Sims on the bench, kitchen, millions wasted. I had high hopes this season, but making so many mistakes, passes going astray. Collins, shocker, punched the ball in the first goal, then he could have caught it. Just hope we get players in January window. Hope we can turn it around and stop leaking goals. I think that's the feelings of everybody, isn't it, really? This is a point as well, actually. Dave Sports Photos, is the captaincy a big deal in football? In cricket, you make decisions all the time, but in football, not really.
I think it's important, but a lot of people say they should have 11 captains out there, really.
I do think some players do struggle, though, because they feel like a bit of responsibility on them to lead the team. But if you can't sort yourself out, because She's not having a great time, is he?
No, he isn't. And in the past, we had a couple of different people, like Kelly would come and be captain, wouldn't he? And we had Fazza, we had Kelly. Godden even was captain at some stage, weren't he? We did pass it around before when we had all their experienced players, but we haven't really got anybody else. I don't think. I'm struggling to think of anybody else that could take over from Chief.
Well, this is why I said we need a. Well, it's interesting. I can't remember who I spoke to. I said, I think we need a defensive midfielder in front of our back four. And someone said, we've got Sheaf. I said, yeah, but he's not playing. He's not doing it.
No. Aaron
Naher. Robbins is a legend. Regardless of what we think of his replacement, Robbins couldn't beat Luton despite having Vic and Hamer. He hit a ceiling, in my opinion. Second tier, too competitive with the Premier League parachutes.
Yeah. We're all going to have a problem when we play a team who've just come down. But when you're playing someone like Pompey, there's no excuses, is there?
So, right. Most of the comments, I would say, are fairly similar now.
Yeah.
So we pretty well know what went wrong on Saturday.
Where do we go from here? Is the question.
We are playing Plymouth Argyle, who currently bottom of the table.
Mr. Rooney. How did they get on at the weekend, Plymouth? Did they lose?
They lose 2-1, did they?
I think they lost, didn't they? I can't remember.
Already, and this is what I know. Miles was saying that was annoying him because it was billed already on Sky as Lampard versus Rooney. That's exactly how they said it.
Yeah.
So that's their view on it straight away. I'm looking at their result yesterday. No, they drew Middlesbrough.
Oh, 3-3.
Yeah,
I just saw it. Well, that's a good result for them then.
Well, it is. It's a good result. But they let in a lot of goals, like we do. I think are they the worst in the division? We're close to them. I know that.
Yeah. Certainly, I've seen a few. They've had a few heavy defeats, haven't they?
I think Portsmouth were worse than us until the weekend. So come on then, Ken. What do you think? How do you think we can turn this around?
I think he's got to make changes, obviously, for Boxing Day. He's got to. In my mind, I don't know if anybody out there agrees. I think he's got to change the goalkeeper without a shadow of a doubt. It's probably going to be Dovin because I don't think Wilson's going to be fit. He's got to bring Bidwell back for De Silva. He'll probably, don't be surprised if he plays Jamie Allen from the start. Jamie Allen will come in for Thorpe, probably. So that's 3 changes. And then up front, he might start Sims. Or Sante even. I don't know, one of them 2 maybe, but he'll definitely make at least 3, maybe 4 changes, I think.
So, I mean...
What do you think? Do you think he's going to make any... He's got to make the keeper change, isn't he, surely?
Oh, keeper's got to be changed. You have to think about his thinking if he doesn't. After that performance, I can't say I can play him purely on a confidence level. Bidwell's got to come in.
Yeah. And he is. I've just seen a message from Rich Overson there about Jake Bidwell. He could possibly be a captain, definitely. He's a bit experienced, isn't he? So he's a possibility. Played over 350 times in the Championship, and he's an experienced player. So, you know.
I don't think we'll change the middle of defence either. I mean, Latty's no better. He's too slow. They got Morgan.
Would you bring Kitchen? Would you bring Kitchen in?
I wouldn't let Kitchen anywhere near Morgan Whittaker. That's a booking in the first 10 minutes. Well, it is, isn't it? It's just heads.
Is he any worse than what we're doing at the moment?
I think he is. If I'm honest, I don't think he's good enough.
No, well. He's had some dodgy performances.
Milan has to play unless he puts Eccles at right back. You know. Yeah. Torp, 1 minute is great, 1 minute is not. Rodoni is our only real threat, I think, from midfield who's going to score. He gets in that box, doesn't he? You know, out of all of them, we still need the width. If we're going to beat Plymouth, we need the width, and we need to use the width.
Do we go for 2 up front?
Oh.
It's the old saying again. Or does he stick with 1?
Well, does he take Bassett out of the team? I don't know.
He could put a Sante up there, maybe.
At the minute, we've got forwards who aren't scoring.
Well, you've got to give. Asante really hasn't had much of a chance, has he? He's been in and out of team. Maybe give him a run. I don't know. I don't know what. It'd be interesting to see what he's thinking. But I'd be. I know if I was a manager, after that performance, I'd be looking around to make some changes, just to make the point that wasn't good enough. You know, and there's somebody here that can take your place if need be.
Yeah, it's the problem is they talk about the SG. We've created so many chances that even though we let in 4, we probably should have scored 4 on Saturday. You know,
easy. We could have been 3-0 up at least.
But it does feel like every time the ball comes anywhere near the goal, it's going in. And there's a nervousness about this team, which is I've never seen anything like it for years and years and years. And you're not, I mean, if we were in the bottom three now, I could understand it, but we're not. We're pretty much, I won't say half up the table, but we're not in the bottom three. And a win on Saturday would have stuck us in the top half. That's how annoying it is. And then we go into the Plymouth game thinking, oh, another 3 points, we're getting a bit closer. It's definitely one step up, two steps backwards at the minute. It is frustrating. I'll read some comments out here. The defeat might be an eye-opener for Frank. I agree, Claudio. It's also a reality check about the limits of what Frank brings to the table. He ain't a miracle worker. Dean Kavanagh. Recruitment is an issue. I don't think Austin or the goalkeeping coach are getting any of the goalkeeping coach are getting any of the heat, surprisingly. That's right. Well, he was at non-league, wasn't he, Dean Austin? He was. There have been some strange. Aaron Thomas, Matt Ritchie, 35 years old, put in 2 crunching tackles and chased 20 yards to stop a ball down the line. That's commitment. John Taylor was recruited by Dave Boddy and Sandra Garlick. And when he took the role on, Doug apparently said to him, "You weren't my first choice."
That's nice for him to know that, isn't it?
It's a bizarre thing to say, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know if I should have said that, but I have now. Something needs to be done about these kick-off times. It's absolutely criminal that this is allowed to go on. No thought for the fans having to get up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Mark Rainbow, you could argue that our relegation to League One was also down to poor recruitment and selling key players. Kitchen blacklist by fans, but are there any of the defenders any better? I'd give them a run out. Can't be any worse by goals conceded and results. This is from Ian Harris. Yes, Claudio, Frank is looking at the deck. He knows now that we are short in areas of the team that we are seeing as fans. Hopefully January will be a busy month for loans or wheeling and dealing. Mark Light says, been saying for 2 seasons our back four are shocking. Too inexperienced for a promotion push. Cloughy always built a winning team on a solid defence. Any team, be honest. Alex Craig, Dovan had 1 howler versus QPR, then dropped. If Haji misses an open goal, does he get dropped? Absolutely not. I mean, has he actually played for Frank yet? He hasn't, has he?
No, he hasn't, no.
I don't think he has. In Plymouth, a keeper's only as good as his defence. I think a lot of it's down to Austin's recruitment. Apparently, Dean Kavanagh, we've only had 3 clean sheets with Binks in the starting lineup in over 30 games. Well, the one with the goal that was scored, he was all over the place as well. The covering back, and we got caught out so bad. This is a problem when I said if we want to play with wingers, the 2 guys in the middle have to be really good. They've got to cover so much ground.
And when you had Hamer and O'Hare and people like that, they were good enough, weren't they? They were good enough.
Yeah.
But what we've got there at the moment is not good enough.
No, they're not. They aren't good enough. They can't seem to read it either. That's the difference. They can't seem to. They can't smell the dangers. They say, don't they? With Fordy, with Dovan, I heard rumours that he took a ball to the face in training, claimed was concussed, and didn't want to play the Sunderland game. Okay. Dave Sports Photos, it's true the player reputations increase when they're out of the team. I wonder how bad things have to get before there are demands for Alan to play. Well, Kent just did.
We might have to put him in. We've got no choice in a minute. Who else to put in there if you want to make changes? You carry on with Thorpe, who's not the most consistent player. He's a good player on his day, but he's not the most consistent player. He didn't really play that well, nor did any of them, to be honest, on Saturday. And Eccles, we know what Eccles can give and what he can't give. So do you give Jamie Allen a run out?
Doug Bowler, can I say just a massive thanks to all the panel from myself, I'm sure everyone else on here, for all the hard work you've done this year to bring us this show. Loved every minute. We salute you all. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, and Merry Christmas to you all this year.
Yeah, I don't know how I do it with these three, I'll tell you. Matt Frankie, if we're not careful, we have more kits released than points this season.
Well, there's a lot of retro kits in the shop. I would say that. More retro kits than Claudia's got behind him.
I'll tell you what, I wish some of the retro players were in them at times. People were comparing Bissett with Huckabee. No, I'm sorry, maybe the offside thing, but Huckabee, when he was through, he'd have scored there. Yeah. That's a one. Yeah, my word. And they talk about youth. You can tell when a player's special. Robbie King was 19 when he came to us.
Yes, and people forget that, how young he was.
How good he was, yeah. And it's great. Kai Andrews, Ryan Howley have both looked like players that Robin's like. Jack Burrows as well. Yet all made just a handful of appearances. And have made them alone. Yeah.
Well, look, Jack Burrows, I'm surprised they haven't recalled it. I don't know whether maybe they haven't got a clause in there that they can record it. He's on loan at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, and I just feel with the squad, it wasn't strong enough in terms of the amount of players, and we let them go. So I just find that hard.
Say it's okay putting all these loan players out to people, but if we haven't got the cover, what's the point? We need them as cover.
I mean, Ubiquitous looked all right when he came on in those couple of games at the start of the season. You think, oh, he looks like a handful. He's gone out on loan.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. We're not allowed to loan anybody, but we can loan players out. Everyone banging on about January transfer window. Remember the first press conference with King and Lampard is not a priority if we are not linked with anyone, we'll get no one. Excuse me. It's all this reading. Shall I let you read a few, Ken?
I can read a few. Where you got to?
I'll put them on. You read them.
Oh, you put them up. Okay. Yeah. Paul Stratton, after a fantastic save, why doesn't he catch the ball? Forgot he couldn't catch a cold. Yeah, you're probably right there, Paul. Yeah. Spencer Payne, worst goalkeeper I've ever seen. Even Oggy would have saved them. Oggy was okay, I think. He did all right for his Oggy. Kept us up for quite a few years, didn't he? Doug Burlum, Wolves probably the last time we played 90 minutes. Yeah, you're probably right there, Doug. I was at that game and they were fantastic for that match. From start to finish, really, from what I can remember. They were outstanding, but unfortunately we didn't play many more games like that for 90 minutes, did we? That's the problem. Mini Phoenix Gaming. Anyone else notice Collins laughing with a Portsmouth coach at the end as well? No, I didn't notice that, to be honest. I haven't seen that on the TV. Rich Overton, evening, Richard. Second goal, nobody is standing on the ball. 3-4 players just wandering around. No player was booked in the whole game. Last time we played well for 90 minutes. Is that right? There's no bookings.
Yeah, no bookings whatsoever, which means nobody putting a decent hard tackle on anybody.
Oh, I didn't even realise that. I was that annoyed at the performance. I didn't.
And only one of their players got booked, which meant they didn't have to tackle any of our players. It was that easy for them. That to me, that means we never got near them, and they didn't have to get near us.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, that just shows you, doesn't it? No bookings there. Obviously, no crunching tackles went in, and we normally have a go at referees for bookings and stuff, but we can't really have a go at the referee because it was all our fault, really. Wayne Littlewood, my expectation as a fan is to just keep a clean sheet now. Of the 33 goals we've conceded in the league, how many have been errors? I bet over 90%. You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right, Wayne. Paul Stratton, Norman runs around like a headless chicken. As promising as he might be, it's no serious goal threat. Chance after chance goes begging. No threat for 90 minutes. Yeah, as we say, you've got to take your chances when you get them. And he had some great chances, didn't he? As we said here, 2-0, game's over. 2-0. I think I can't see them coming back from 2-0. But we had a chance after that.
their confidence would have been shot.
Yeah, two early goals on that.
They scored the first goal. Their level of performance jumped up straight away.
Yes.
We seem to just sink straight away, as if to say, "Oh, here we go again."
Yeah,
which is weird because that shouldn't be the case when you've started so strongly. You just think, right, okay, let's go again. There's nothing there.
No, when we concede a goal like that, they should have been determined to right. Let's get in now and finish them off. That's what their attitude should have been. COD players should have been saying, like, let's go and finish them off. But we never. We just sank and deteriorated, didn't we? Ridiculous. Aaron Thomas, we had 2 seasons where we overachieved in league positions, and now we expect a top 6 finish. We are simply not good enough to play for the playoffs this season. 12th or 15th is where I think we will be. Where did you predict, Claudio, we'd finish?
3rd. But we did the predictions before the window was shut because we were convinced we were going to get 2 or 3 more players, didn't we?
We did.
We were convinced.
Yes. And I think I said top 6. I think I can't remember what I said.
Yeah, I was convinced we were going to get more players in. I thought, surely this can't be it. Yeah.
Alex Craig, I think a captaincy is very important for such a young squad. Kelly, Doyle, and Fads, all examples of leaders who help the young lads. Absolutely, and that's the sort of players we need now. One of those type of players. Certainly, we were on about Michael Doyle. We were chatting to some Portsmouth fans at the weekend, and they're on about Michael Doyle, how good he was for them. And I was saying we could do with a Michael Doyle now in our team, because that's the sort of player we're missing. Somebody who gets stuck in, captain, organises a team, and he's not scared to put people in their place, if you like. Alex Craig, the 15-16 season, first half, Sam Ricketts was a great leader in the young side. We lost him to injury, and suddenly we started to fall apart. Finished 8th that season after being top at Christmas. Yeah, remember Sam Ricketts? He was a good captain. He was. Yeah.
It's when Ryan Kent went back at Christmas.
That's right. Yeah, and Tony Mowbray, was it Tony Mowbray manager then?
Yeah.
Sashins United, Claudio. It's windy outside. Is that King's fault?
Well, it's not. We wouldn't know how to stop it. Well, he probably would because his ego's that big. He'd sort it out. He wouldn't need. Well, put it this: he wouldn't need any help. He'd sort it. Yeah, he wouldn't take anybody's advice.
Leave it with him.
Yeah.
Stephen Suddens, agree. Recruitment is poor, but what funds have we made available to do the right deal? And on loans again, we need some leaders. Yeah, I think we all agree with that.
All right. This is funny.
Matthew Stone says 5-5 Boxing Day thriller horror show. Or going with mini Phoenix game. He's going with 6-6 draw with Plymouth. Well, I'll tell you what. I watched. I don't know if you've seen it, but I watched a bit of the Man United, the Liverpool Tottenham game this afternoon, and the Tottenham defence is terrible, isn't it? And I thought harder thing.
Okay, we're not going to. It shouldn't really. There's other teams, but you see, to me, as that manager cannot play that way all the time against everybody. It's just
he won't change it, will he?
No, against the top sides, you're going to get done over. Which is, I love watching them because it's funny. It's like
exciting. It's always an exciting game. You see goals when Tottenham play.
Yeah,
both ends.
I find it ridiculous.
Well, then he took Maddison off. Who was, you need to keep on if you lose him, really. And he took him off for some strange reason. Very strange. But anyway, let's go talk about us. We've got enough problems ourselves than talking about anybody else. Aaron Thomas, wouldn't find it funny if we play out a boring 0-0 draw with Plymouth. I think the odds on that would be good. 0-0.
It's getting to the point, Ken, where I just don't want to lose. That's how, even though it's Plymouth bottom of the league, I'm just thinking, please don't lose. It's just sad, isn't it, really? Because that's the game, Boxing Day, full crowd. We should be going there at home and just, wipe them aside.
Well, we were said before the Pompey game, I was looking for maximum, no excuses, maximum points, I said, and we've already been let down with the first game. So God knows what's going to happen with the second game. We'll probably get 3 points Saturday. Boxing Day, sorry.
This is Chris Brooks. So Chris Brooks is the manager for the day, and this is what he's come up with.
Go on then.
Dolan, Eccles, Binks, Sheaf, yes, as centre-back. He's had a drink. He does like a drink, does Chris? Bidwell, Howley, EMC, Tavares with Bassett in 10, with Asante, Thomas up front. God, just make the point to the others. Wow.
There's a few changes there. My God.
Thankfully, Chris isn't the manager. Although, to be honest, you could chuck anybody in there at the minute. Aaron Thomas, we all wanted the MC to play on the left. When he does, he's a different player. Santi was brought on as a striker and gets used on the left with 20 minutes to go.
Well, that's what I'm saying about Asante. He hasn't really been given a run inside, has he? So maybe it's time to chuck him on.
Yeah. Lee Burrows, the defence should not be Sats instead of Robbins. It's been shocking for a couple of years. They're all a joke about of the training pitch. No desire on the match day, just laziness, too many big heads. It's interesting that there was no videos recently. Then we won a game and they did another video, and it's all. I'll tell you what, just concentrate on the football, lads. I don't care about the social media stuff. Just win games.
We need to start winning quickly, don't we?
Liam Moss, from what I've heard, FL had words after the game. I'm sure they will respond to that. I expect much change lineup and possibly formation bring a big victory, but that won't be problem solved. Oh, it will for some. Believe me, Liam. People will just think, oh, fantastic, we're brilliant again. Stephen Sutton's Whittaker has a toe injury. Will they need him with our defence?
Well, yeah.
David, Sports Photos is Alan more effective off the bench? I would say he's more effective on the bench. We didn't come on yesterday, did he? I can't remember.
He came on, yeah. Came on.
There you go then.
But it didn't make much difference. But there you
go. Paul Shrapnel will come wanting this more than us. Yet again, if we don't compete physically, we'll lose again. MVE, Binks, Silver, Collins, Bissett, taught all out, can't coach aggression. Portsmouth were 23rd in the home table before Saturday with 10 points from 9 games. There you go. That's what you said.
Yeah. Wayne Littlewood again.
Gents, on a positive, great work for the year. Been a pleasure being on the show with you all. More for 2025.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne, for your contribution.
Aaron, does Frank force the squad to evolve to his vision, or does he force himself to adapt to them? Either needs to pressure DK to recruit better, or play a more suitable formation. 4-4-2 makes more sense. It's interesting though, because obviously we sign players to play a different way to how Frank Lampard likes to play 4-3-3. So we might have one or two too many players in certain positions. Well said, Trevor Merriban. I've been loving this show even when we've had bad results. Thanks for your commitment in giving this every week. Happy Christmas to you all, including Miles and Vicky.
And happy Christmas to you, Trevor.
Vicky Sims.
Vicky Sims. You'll love that.
Come Andy, I went straight home after yesterday. Couldn't face the Mickey taking in my local. I don't blame you.
Come Andy, yeah, it's great to meet you at the weekend, mate. But it didn't go to plan, mate.
Gavin Collins, our deck. Don't have the desire and I'm not hungry enough to scrap and challenge for this division. Assassin Unite said Robbins allowed the squad to be unbalanced. Mini Phoenix came in. Playing devil's advocate, here the XG table has us third on 38 points, suggesting we aren't playing that badly. This big thing is we've conceded 11 more goals than expected. We've said that. It's we know we need to take the chances, but the goals conceded are ridiculous. Don't know if it's been mentioned, says Maca6. But did anyone see the coaching staff behind Lampard after we conceded one of the goals laughing when watching on Sky? Some professional considering where we are at the moment. I did hear about
that. I never seen that. So
I did hear about that. So Mark Rainbow, I guess it's not surprised, but Collins has the worst save percentage in the league, 44%. Doven is ranked 21st, 65. For context, the leader is Michael Cooper with 85. James Melia. When you spend 40 million in Championship, it should mean playoffs. It should be close to it, James. This is what we're saying. We spent a lot of money.
They're at the top half of the table, at least, minimum. Yeah.
Apparently, Sky Blue Deck says Ryan Hardy is out injured too. Oh dear.
Yeah.
So the fact they got players injured worries me.
It's sad when we're actually, trying to.
I know. It's like
Plymouth have got injured players.
It's sad, isn't it, Ken? We shouldn't be thinking this way.
No.
I know. Paul Stratton says, unless Gyökeres, he's just gone now, unless Gyökeres is sold, we are signing nobody. Doug talks a good game, but fear he has no money. He's hoodwinking the fans. He doesn't start because talk a good game. Didn't quite get that bit. Beat Plymouth and fans will be thinking we have a world-class deck, says Wayne. Any truth in the rumours about Steve Round for director of football? This has been going on for ages, Paul. So don't know if I'm honest.
We'll have to have Doug that one. Doug's the man who knows that.
Having followed Pompey through every professional league in England, I can safely say you have the worst goalkeeper in the EFL.
Well, you're not the only one, because we spoke to a few Pompey fans at the weekend, and I think they agree with us that the goalkeeper was poor, and a few of the defenders they were naming as well.
Yeah, you don't need to watch all those games, I tell you, to know that it was pants. It really was. Gavin Collins says, forget SG. It's a load of baloney. It means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't, does it? It just proves you create chances that you can't take them. Chris says, happy Christmas, Claudia and Ken. Great shows. Always keep the faith.
Christmas, Chris. Yeah.
Mark Rainbow, it's interesting, given that we must be looking for new players in January. Please, God, please say we are. We haven't been linked to anyone other than the lad from Reading. Oh, yeah, it doesn't say much, does it? We were linked with Michael Cooper in the summer, apparently. It's a Merry Christmas from Ian Harris. Love listening from across the pond to all the different perspectives and opinions. Looking forward to more in 2025. All the best, PUSB. What are you doing Boxing Day night, Ken?
Boxing Day night?
Yeah. After the game?
After the game?
Yeah.
I'm not sure at the moment. Why?
Because you could do a show Thursday night.
Thursday evening, because the kick off early. Is it a 3 o'clock kick off?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could still do one Thursday night, yeah.
Yeah, we could do one.
Yeah.
Should we do one?
We could do one. Yeah, fine.
My daughters, they're all, I'm on my own with Luca. We're going to the game, obviously.
Yeah, we can do one Thursday night then, because we were going to, the next one was going to be on the Monday, wasn't it, after the Sunday game? Yeah. We can do one Thursday night, yeah.
I'm happy to do one. That could be quite interesting, couldn't it? Straight after.
Yes. Especially if the result don't go to plan.
Let's do one. It's better than a rerun of the two Ronnies or Morecambe and Wise. I don't know what the TV is now.
That's the alternative, isn't it?
We could do our own version of EastEnders, couldn't we? Yeah, Westenders. We'll call it Westenders. Right. Yes. This is exactly Finn. Rooney v Lampard. Who loses will be a laughing stock. Players simply aren't good enough. Millions wasted by Dean Austin and his recruitment team on League One standard players. And Lee Beckett, I'll be back home crying at another loss.
Well,
someone reckons Dart Farts 3-0 to Plymouth.
3-0 to Plymouth. You'll get a good price at that. We're still favourites, I think. Even the bookies are giving up on us, I think, sometimes.
So, come on then. What's your prediction?
My prediction is a victory.
Hey.
We can't possibly lose two games.
Come back into the light, Ken. Come back into the light.
We can't possibly lose 2 games, can we? On the trot like that. Against 2
of the worst teams in the league, supposedly.
Yeah. We've got to bounce back. And I'm sure Lampard weren't happy, and I'm sure a few words were exchanged in the dressing room after the match. We've seen a lot of the players going, and they weren't happy, obviously, going back into the coach. I don't think Lampard went back on the coach. Lampard went back in his car. He didn't go back with the team. Whether he went somewhere at home straight from Pompey, I don't know. But obviously, he did. I know he didn't travel on the coach on the way home because there was a lot of fans waiting to speak to him outside, and he didn't get on the coach. So I'm expecting a lot of changes, at least 4, and I think you'll see a much improved performance, which wouldn't take a lot, would it? against Plymouth, and it's going to be a sellout. I think by all means, we have a great. You're going to say 30,000 at least. I don't know how many Plymouth fans are coming, but I presume they'll bring a few, even though it's Boxing Day. It's a short trip for them, really, because it's only the Midlands.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
It's only the Midlands they're going to. Normally they're going up north for a lot further. So, but no, I expect it to be a good game, but I expect us to beat Plymouth. I really do, because we'll have a big, good game. We've got to respond. We've got to respond to Saturday's result. Players will be looking at themselves and say, look, that's just not good enough. Saturday's performance was not good enough. And if they're lucky enough to stay in the team, then they've got to perform to a level it's acceptable. And because that performance was not acceptable on Saturday, they let the fans down. They let the club down, really, because they just fell apart. And against a very poor, you don't mind getting beat against a good side, do you? And with all due respects to Pompey, they are where they are for a reason, and they've really just come up. They're not a particularly great side, and their side we should be beating, and the players should know that they're better than that. So I think a response. So I'm going for a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, and you're right about letting people down, but also letting yourself down as a player. Surely, you must look at yourself as a player and think that's not good enough. I've got to do more. I've got to show that I'm better than this. I mean, Collins, we're talking about the lineup. Collins has got to come out just to get him out the firing line, because every time the ball comes in, and you know what fans are like, we've got him at our place, there'll be ironic cheers if he catches the ball. Anything like that. If he kicks up the pitch and it goes to where it should go, they'll get ironic cheers for that. So we need to be, I think he needs to be taken out the firing line. He's got to be taken out, basically. I mean, as in not taken out, but taken out the team. So I would like to think we are playing a team managed by Wayne Rooney, who is an absolute car crash, basically, when it comes to management. And I don't think he's very good. So as far as I'm concerned, I feel we will win. I won't say exact score, but it's going to be a struggle, because I don't think we are high in confidence. And if we're going to come on Thursday night after the game, I'd love to come on here and go, wow, wasn't that amazing? We won 4-0. We needed that, But if we do, I certainly won't be coming on here saying, wow, we've turned the corner, because how many corners are there we can turn this season? Because we've not really pushed on from any victory, really, have we? When we've got the victory. So it is the old cliche, one game at a time, isn't it? We've got to get this game out of the way. And then we need to make sure, is it Millwall, Stratford? Was it?
We've got Millwall and got Cardiff, haven't we, on New Year's Day?
So the Millwall game as well, we've got to get 3 points. We've got to. We've got to do it.
And can I just say, if you get your, I meant to say this earlier, but we've got a 5 minutes or so. If you get your attendance in, we guess the gate for the Plymouth game. It's going to be nearly a full house. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to get your
Who's writing these down?
I'll write them down. I've got it here. I've got one's coming already. I do apologise. We were so busy talking about how bad we played. I should have said there's a guess the gate competition. So you get your guess gates in, please, for the Plymouth game. We'll have a prize for you on the show on Thursday.
Yeah, because we can look at them after the show's finished. We'll go through them.
Yeah, we'll go through. Yeah.
Pompey Lil. Oh, we've got a Pompey fan. Let's read what he says. Agreed. Collins and De Silva not championship standard, nor is Sims, in my humble opinion. I can't believe for 1 minute they thought they were going to get a 4-1 on Saturday. And like they said, the commentators, when I was watching it, and they were saying when we went 1-0 up, it looked like it was going to be a 4-0 to Cov. The way it's Yes.
Well, the Pompey fans we spoke to, they were great, lovely people down there. By the way, the fans were brilliant. We had a great night out down there on the Friday after the show, and then I was there Saturday as well. I came back today, and all the fans I spoke to said they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe how how poor defending. He said, "You've been defending like that." I said, "We've been defending like that for most of the season, to be honest. But we've got away with a few of the games." But yeah, and he said they couldn't believe they scored 4 goals past us, basically, because they expected, even before the game kicked off, they expected to get beat. A lot of them said we were a good side. Obviously, they've seen us play on telly and stuff like that, and they expected to get beat. So they were shocked, I think, as well. But they were obviously very pleased that they got the 3 points in the bag.
Apparently, Pompey Lil is a Canley kid. You're not far from
well, the Judge 1897.
So, if you had scored that 1-1 was 1-0, then we probably would have won by 3 or 4. Keeper did well for us. Your keeper let us in the door.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
he did, didn't he? And that's the key, isn't it? We talk about small margins all season. The trouble is, the margins aren't going our way at all. No. We can't seem to get over these small margins, which means some of the players aren't good enough to get over that small margin. I mean, how small is it? This small? Or is it like this? How small is this?
The trouble is, as we've always said with keepers, if a keeper makes a mistake.
Oh, Ken's frozen on me.
Oh, we're back. Lost you for a minute, Claudio. Did you freeze? You frozen then?
Have I frozen?
Outside. I was about to say, when a keeper makes a mistake, everybody knows. Yeah.
Yeah,
I froze because I went off slightly as well.
I'm
I was about to say, when a keeper makes a mistake, when a keeper makes a mistake, everybody notices, don't they?
Exactly. But he's making too many.
Player makes a mistake, you probably get away with it.
So I think take him out the firing line, get Dover.
Far too many. Yeah,
Wilson's not fit yet. Go with what we got, and hopefully we'll turn them over. We've got to get a win on Saturday. We've got a good crowd up there, and let's just do it. Shall we end it there for tonight?
Yeah, I think so. Look, we're gonna we'll end it there. You can keep getting your guesses in. You got a couple of minutes yet, and we'll have a look at them after the show, and then we'll give you the correct answer, obviously, in our next show on Thursday. I just want to say from all the team here at Sky Blue Fans TV, myself, Miles, Claudio, Vicky, and all the backroom staff and stuff like that does things behind the scenes that you don't normally see. We want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very prosperous, happy New Year. And let's hope the Sky Blues can pick up some desperately points that we need, against the teams over Christmas and New Year, especially starting with the Plymouth game. We need to get on a winning run. Obviously, the season hasn't gone the way we planned it at the start of the season. A lot of things have happened. It's been a bit of an topsy-turvy year for us. So hopefully things will pick up now in the next few months, and Frank Lampard will get the players he wants in January. Hopefully Doug will be a bit more sympathetic and let the loans come through that you didn't really want to happen, but we need loans, simple as that. And obviously he might even release a little bit of money, you never know, to buy somebody. Who knows? It's Christmas time, we need a bit of cheer, so you never know, he might be nice and happy and release a bit of his cash, because obviously we all know we need players in January, and we can see that, because we can't continue with the players we've got, unfortunately, because they ain't been good enough. Simple as that. Well, certainly a few of them we know, the ones without naming them, have not been good enough. So we need a few changes, need a few fresh faces to come in, and obviously build the team up to spirit. And I'm sure Frank will turn it around. I've every confidence, Claudio, that Frank can turn it around.
No. No, I don't. I'm not going to predict anything.
I think give him. No, but I think if he can bring in the right players.
Oh, you've gone a bit frozen a bit. I'll just say. I'll just say that Well, wish you all a Merry Christmas, and we'll be back on Boxing Day. I think Ken's frozen on me. Hopefully you can hear me out there. And I just feel we need to just get a win on Thursday, and we can all be happy and enjoy it until we play Millwall for another tough game in the Championship. I think it's good night from me, and I'll say good night from Ken, and we'll be back on Thursday night.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans.